Musa, ntereche, ako, abafeka julakan kalan.
Omagwalan.
Salam alaikum. Ne togo ye Coleman Donaldson ye, no ye Adama Diallo ye Farafina. Welcome to another episode of Basic Bambara, a project from Ankata, my initiative to create media and resources for speaking and learning Manding. If you're new here, think about subscribing. In this video, we're going to cover qualitative verbs. Qualitative verbs let you say things like, I am healthy, Bamako is big, or that's not difficult, which you just heard in the little skit that I did.
Omagwalan.
Specifically, I'm going to cover three things in this video. Number one, how qualitative verbs are different from presentatives and equatives, constructions that we already saw in earlier videos in this series. Number two, how to use qualitative verbs in the affirmative. And number three, how to use qualitative verbs in negative constructions. Think I go a little bit fast in this video. There's a link down in the description below. You can get access to a text, audio flashcards, and exercises that go with every video in this series. Otherwise, Ankata. Thus far in Basic Bambara, we've covered two types of constructions that can be translated with the verb to be in English. We had presentative constructions, which show up in sentences like nkorodo, which means it is or that is my elder sibling, nkorodo. And then we have presentative sentences, which we know from things like Maliye mfasoye. Mali is my homeland. Notice how both of these example sentences only use nouns. So in the first one, nkorodo, it is my elder sibling. It just presents or identifies elder sibling. And in the second sentence, Maliye mfasoye, Mali is my homeland. We again have two nouns and we state that they are equivalent or equal to one another. But what happens if we want to describe a noun? We want to say something like, Burkina Faso is big, or we want to say, my mom is tall. In that case, we have to use qualitative verbs. Some scholars may call these things like predicate adjectives. Don't get caught up on the labels. Use whichever one makes it easiest for you to understand. Let's tackle affirmative constructions with qualitative verbs with an example that you've likely already encountered in greetings, even if you weren't sure what it meant.
Ikakene.
So that sentence, ikakene, is made up of three words. The first one we already know, I, which means you. Then we have two words. Let's start with kene. Kene means healthy in this context. And then we have ka. Ka is actually what linguists call a predicate marker, and that is it's the thing that lets you use the qualitative verb. So it's like a helper word or an auxiliary. Note that in this example, I actually did not gloss ka as to be or are. That's because, as I already pointed out with equatives and presentatives, it's important not to think of there being one word that can be translated as to be in Manding. Keeping that in mind, we see that the underlying structure of an affirmative qualitative verb construction is quite simple. First, we have something that is a noun. It can either be a proper noun like aminata or a common noun like do, meaning younger sibling. Next, we have the so-called predicate marker, ka. After that, we can add whichever qualitative verb we like. Keep in mind that there's no change in the qualitative verb regardless of the number or the gender or the class of the noun that is the subject. So there's nothing special to memorize. In many cases, Bambara qualitative verbs line up nicely with what we think of as adjectives in English. This isn't always the case though. For instance, words related to color or mood often require a totally different kind of construction in Bambara. For this reason, it's best not to start with an English adjective and try to translate it, but instead learn a set of Bambara qualitative verbs and then use those based off the situation you're in. So let's give you a few examples that you can already start using right now that are qualitative verbs. How about Fanta which means Fanta is tall. Fanta Or how about if we were talking about food, you might eat a new West African dish you haven't tried called to, which is like a pounded millet or pounded corn, and you say to kadi, meaning to is pleasing, or more idiomatically in English, to is good or tasty. And then finally, if you're thinking that these lessons with me are not as easy as you thought, you could say something like Bamanakanka giling, meaning Bambara is hard. Bamanakanka giling. All right, it's time for some examples. Let's listen to a few clips from Na Boroke. I promise that there are some qualitative verb constructions in the affirmative in there.
Bon, ne yɛrɛ donna a kɔnɔ sincèrement di a ka ɲi.
Parce que tuma dɔ wari ko lo quoi yan ka gɛlɛn.
Warimisɛn ko a ka nɔgɔya o y'a sɔrɔ wari bɛ yen.
Fɛn dɔ bɛ subaga yan a sɔngɔ ka di.
Bamakɔ yɛrɛ ka mɔgɔ ka ca.
N'i ka feere fɛn sanna lɔgɔ ka di.
A kɔni ko ka wɔrɔ ka fisa.
To use qualitative verbs in the negative, it's really simple. You actually just need to change the predicate marker ka into its negative equivalent ma. So let's imagine, for instance, that you're at a really huge party. You might say something like mogo kacha. Mogo means person, and then we have the qualitative verb cha, which means numerous. So literally this expression mogo kacha means person is numerous, or more idiomatically in English, people are numerous, which we would probably in English say, there's a hell of a lot of people here. If, on the other hand, the party was a bust, you might say something in the negative that sounds like mogo mancha, meaning people or person is not numerous. Mogo mancha. All right, time for some more examples from Na Boroke. Listen really carefully and see if you can pick out some of the negative qualitative verb constructions.
Fɔɲɔ bɛ bɔ tile fana man ca.
Parce que a man kɛnɛ.
Aywa, any questions? Think about posting them down below. Otherwise, did you like this video? Do you wish that it was as easy to learn Mandang and other African languages online as French or Spanish? Me too. Think about becoming a patron of Ankata. There's a link down in the description below. Aywa, Anche, Kambe.